Today's High Performance Podcast is brought to you by Josh Phegan Digital. It's the only place that you'll find our expansive resource library. Every form, checklist, visual and dialogue that you'll ever need to systemize your business. Available to edit in PDF to rapidly take your business to the next level.
Welcome to High Performance, a podcast featuring Josh Phegan and Alexander Phillips. Alexander, today we're going to talk about the power of referrals. And one of the simple things that you taught me very early on is that when someone actually gives you a referral, you've got to make sure that you keep that person up to date about what's actually happened with the client. And I hear a lot of people in this position where they get a great referral and then the next time they speak to the person that did the referral was after it's sold or a couple of days when they're in trouble, just before the auction campaign. Why is it important to keep referrals moving and being in a position of being good at getting them and good at receiving them to make sure that you continue to have that as a major lead source inside of your business?
No, hi Josh, thanks for having me again. Yeah, referrals are a big part of any real estate agent's business, and a referral is one of the easiest, best ways to secure business because that person's has a relationship and they've listened to someone from another party and generally going to use you as the agent. So what that means is you do really need to ramp up the intensity and your work ethic with that referral, which is, you should be doing that anyway. But also, the communication you have with that person that's referred you the business. I always find it actually helps you get more referrals from them as well. I left them a message. They're coming back to me tomorrow. I went and appraised it. We hopefully should have it on the market next week. Give them a bit of an update through the campaign potentially, and then let them know when it's sold.
I think the big thing about it is that person who's referred never wants to walk into the supermarket, see the person that they referred and go, "Oh, how'd you go with Alex?" Like they need to know, "Oh no, it's been great," or "He's come out and seen this. It's not the right time to sell," whatever the story might be, so then they can actually go and make those decisions. Do you think about it that a lot of agents are probably a bit random about that? They get a referral once, but they don't actually think about it as being a major lead source. So they don't actually maybe have a list of their top 5 or 10 referrers, and then just make sure that literally you're keeping in contact, having some good conversations with them, buying them a coffee if you see them out at the coffee shop, just doing the occasional thing to make sure you keep on building that relationship. And I think sometimes you get to a point where you just take it for granted that you're always going to get a referral from that person rather than being at the top of the list. And
you should always give them some sort of a thank you as well. If it's generally what we do is give them a $500 Maryvale gift voucher or something like that so they can go to one of the best restaurants in Sydney, something that they probably wouldn't normally do, and not a cheap bottle of champagne or something like that, but something that would mean something to that person.
And I think the big thing about it is that the power of relationship. So I look at it, say, hey, if you need something from me, hey, just let me know. And so all the things that you've actually done leading up to that point that then gets them to go to generate those referrals. And whenever I get someone who says, hey, Josh, do you have a real estate agent that actually sells in this area? Mate, I'll often go onto Domain, go find agents, and I'll have a look at all of the people that are there. And mate, I'll actually choose people based on, hey, I know this person's been great in training. They've always come back to me on things. They've said please and thank you. They were really good inside of that conversation. And that's often the way that you actually go to generate the referrals, is because they were just a great person during the course of the transaction. And you actually get a lot of people that are in that position where they don't really think about, are you referral worthy? If you think about it, your job, you've got to take on some difficult listings sometimes. Often you might get called in when they were already on the market with someone else, learning how to actually have difficult conversations and then using that referrer to then help you to steer the client. How important is it to go back and say, look, you got to tell them that it's probably, they do need to go with the full campaign. I know they don't want to, but it's actually really important because that referrer can be used as a part of the sales process, right?
Definitely used as part of the negotiation or progressing the sale or convincing the vendor to take an offer, because they've probably have some sort of relationship there that they use them as a sounding board, and that's definitely a way to help you secure the business as well and also help you secure a sale.
A great example of that is in the home loans business, right? We saw some stats the other day that 3 in every 10 home loans that are actually approved are actually taken up by the borrower. So from that point of view, that clearly goes to show that a lot of brokers are doing 7 in every 10 deals that they get together in terms of giving someone finance approval don't actually ever get to the point where they actually go and buy a house. So if you're a home loan broker, couldn't that be a great lead source to say, hey, Alex, here are 2 or 3 people that have actually been fully approved, mate, they're right to go. If you can find them something to buy, that helps the home loan person actually then write loans and then gets you in a position you've got a better qualified buyer. Is that important for real estate agents to start thinking about the depth of relationships that they've got with stakeholders like home loan type people that can make a huge difference in better qualified buyers, particularly in markets where the buyers are a bit thinner on the ground in some parts of Australia and New Zealand?
Yeah, big time. It's a great lead source to particularly get highly qualified buyers.